बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम अस्सलामु अलैकुम जी आयानु बखैर आगले नी हाउ चुरुशुमे वशमले ओहायो गुजाइमस Guten Morgen, hola, boyo, privyet, kaifa hal, hale shuma chatore, ahlan wasal, marhaba, buna, mucho gracias, swabia, bhalli kare aaya, hosh gyal din anayo saya, khuya mora, chi batto, chi hal jod, kali mera, khairutan, and a very warm welcome to everybody who's tuned into PTV World and watching World this morning alongside my very well-learned colleague who happens to be Miss Hajra Satti. I happen to be Shahzad Hassan Khan, and we hope and pray that everybody out there is doing wonderfully well and that you're ready to kickstart your day with us. But first things first, hello Hajra, assalamu alaikum. How are you feeling today?
Walaikum assalam. Thank you so much, Jazakallah Khair, for introducing me. Since we have entered into the last Ashra of the Ramadan, Eid is just around the corner. And, we feel a little bit nostalgic and a little bit sad that Ramadan is going away because Ramadan allows us this opportunity to think and reflect that, we attain this heightened sense of spirituality and then we are capable of having this devotion, of a greater connection to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But we will hope and pray that we are able to keep this connection.
Inshallah.
Inshallah ta'ala. And now we will segue into our new segment which speaks about the role of mother tongue in develop the cognitive abilities in the children. And it's not just that, it also enhances the critical thinking skills. So in order to unfold this conversation, we are very glad that we have been joined by Ahmed Daniel. He happens to be senior translation consultant at the Allama Iqbal Open University. Assalamu alaikum and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me on this show today. It is really an honor for me.
Thank you so much for joining us. Wonderful to have you over here. So first things first, I think what we really need to do is we need to highlight the role of mother language in cognitive development. So first, let's kind of establish it and we'll move forward then.
All right, this concept is not as easy as it seems. Actually, mother tongue has a connection with the cognitive development of a child. But first of all, we need to understand two aspects. The first one is that language is not just a tool for communication.
Okay.
Basically, it's a foundation of identity. It's a foundation of cognitive development. And the second thing is that we can't just discuss this topic this concept without analyzing it and without connecting it with endangered languages.
Okay.
At a later point of time, we'll come together and we'll try to connect it with endangered languages also.
Exactly. Well, that's wonderful. Thank you so much for developing that as well. And where you actually spoke about that it's not only a tool for communication, but for a tool for identity. Unfortunately, I think if we are to kind of go with this philosophy or theory, what has happened is that with all of these tablets out there, we do see for a fact that how children are developing their cognitive skills as well. And in addition to this, they're not even speaking their mother tongue. So how would you rate that?
Oh, well, that is a real concern for me as well.
Okay.
First of all, I would go with the...
Why is it a concern for?
Because I think that it breaks the gap between first and third generation, frankly speaking.
Okay.
Let me put it this way. Suppose parents don't allow their children to talk in their mother tongue at home. Just say Punjabi. We'll talk about Punjabi first. First, we'll talk about Punjabi. As per census of 1981, the speakers of Punjabi were 54%.
Okay.
Right.
But according to the census of 2017, it drastically decreased to 36%.
All right.
Well, that is a drastic decrease, no, as far as percentage is concerned. If we put it this way, that Punjabi is the most spoken language of Pakistan.
But its cognitive development se kya taluk hai?
No, I'm just coming over there. The people, we people actually, we don't allow our children to speak Punjabi at home socially as well because it is seen as a stigma.
It's not that we are not allowing, it's just that the children cannot or are not able to speak.
Because you're not putting in an effort in that sense.
I mean, I tried doing that as well. Puttar ki haal hai, and the response is, Daddy, what are you saying, Daddy?
Yeah, because they never see you speaking with your wife, and that is one of the reasons for that. And I think you are responsible for this conundrum. But now let's move on to that. And that is that, for a lot of people, like Pakistanis who are watching our show, and it is, they're greatly watching our show. So for their kids who are living in the Western societies, or probably in a non-Urdu speaking society where they're unable to connect towards their native mother language, right? So how do you explain this entire cognitive development in their children? Do you feel that they are disconnecting with their cultural roots and cultural identity? Or is it okay, fine, I mean, connecting with English or whatever language, they're living in the predominant societies there?
Well, I believe English is as important as any other language.
Okay.
So we should allow our children to learn English as well, but not at the cost or stake of our own mother tongue. no matter what the mother tongue is. So cognitive development of children, that actually it's very important to understand that the first words that a child hears, it's like mother's words, and that mother's words and that connection, that sensitivity, that helps child to get neural pathways as well.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
We'll
Excuse me.
develop this conversation further, and we will talk about kids or parents who want to, obviously mother tongue mother tongue is important, but right, what about the kids who want to learn other languages? For example, they're bilingual or they're multilingual in that aspect, right? So and especially when they're in the growing up stage, they're like mixing a lot of words, a lot of languages. So do you recommend going through this pathway, or what do you suggest? How do you want the parents to instill into their kids about this phenomenon?
Well, in this globalized world, we can't just separate English. It has become so mixed up culture, so mixed up languages, that even in Urdu or Punjabi or like Balochi, Sindhi, Pashto, they have also got some words from other languages. Like if we talk about Urdu, we have got like glass, we have got refrigerator, television. We have adopted or borrowed words from English.
Right.
So we just can't say that we have to speak entirely in Pashto, or we have to speak entirely in Punjabi or Urdu or whatever.
But Amir Sahib, we've also seen this phenomena, which, like you mentioned about the endangered languages, right? And I think we need to develop a conversation on that. So in Pakistan, we've seen, there was an entire generation of our parents, who did not wanted us to maybe learn Punjabi, because Punjabi is an ethnic group, which is a predominant ethnic group within Pakistan, right? And they consider English perhaps to be a pathway towards having more social, how would I say, prestige in the society, right? And now we've seen, like Shahzad mentioned, that their kids, our kids, they are deprived of, our mother tongue. And I think it brings so much diversity, so much flavor, and so much spice to the language, what do you call it, lexicon, right? So, how do you recommend that we preserve those endangered languages, and especially to the kids, which we are not passing on to the very rich and strong cultural heritage of this language?
This lack of passing of culture and language from one generation to another is one of the source or one of the reason of endangered languages. As per Epilogue, there are more than 7,000 languages spoken in the world, and 1/3 of the languages are at the risk of being endangered.
Yes.
They are endangered zone. But if we look into Pakistan, the scenario is not very bright as well. We have got like 77 languages in Pakistan, and 26 languages are in the danger zone. So we need to look into the reasons why this happens.
Right.
Gee, why do you think it happened?
Yeah, the first thing is that you have already discussed, that is that we don't transfer the language or culture from one generation to another. The second reason is that in some areas, like hilly areas or hard trains, or very severe weather, the people migrate from that specific routes to big cities like Lahore, Karachi, Islamabad. So when they move over there, they leave their legacy behind. The next generation, they follow or they adopt the culture of big cities, and they leave behind their mother tongue. So
Exactly.
that is also.
And thank you so much, sir, for saying that, because I think I've summed up wonderfully well, for people who are out there to actually have a better understanding. So now imagine, I think if we are to kind of speak about mother tongue will give you a better understanding in making sure that you express, or probably problem solving as well. There's 6 or 7 points, which I do believe, which I've taken out of this conversation. Foundation for thought processes. It will set that cognitive ability. We were talking about improved memory and learning, social and emotional development, cultural identity and cognitive flexibility, enhanced metalinguistic awareness, and problem solving, and influence on your education success.
That's very true. But thank you so much, Amir Saab, for coming here, for shedding light on a very important phenomena, that is the cognitive development of the children, and that too in the mother tongue.
Thank you so much to our audiences out there. Until next time, look out yourselves. 1, 2, 3. Good morning. Ramadan Mubarak. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.